Last week, the Philippines reached a broad agreement with Japan to acquire 5 Abukuma-class destroyer escorts from the JMSDF. Although the ships will only be transferred when they are retired starting next year and administrative details are still being finalized, the Philippines Defense Secretary called the transfer already a done deal. Now, the question that the Philippines public still might have, how good a deal is the Abukuma transfer actually? So, without further ado, let's discuss it in today's video. The transfer of 5 Abukuma class is not just an immediate expansion of hull numbers. It's a major leap forward for the Philippine Navy. It changes the dynamic in terms of tactical capabilities, strategic flexibility, and international defense alignments, particularly between the two nations. Manila gains substantial advantages across several key dimensions. From the economic standpoint alone, the transfer potentially saves Manila years of procurement planning and an estimated cost exceeding $500 million if acquired as newly constructed warships. We know Manila will still shoulder the administrative, logistics, crew training, and other costs, but I bet it will be a fraction of what they have to pay if acquiring new warships. The Philippine Navy has historically lacked robust subsurface defense capabilities, whilst the ongoing acquisition of new ships gives the Navy a much-needed underwater detection capability. The current number is still not enough to cover 2.2 million square kilometers of the Philippines' territorial waters. This deficit in underwater detection capability is a critical vulnerability that China's underwater force is actively exploiting, turning the West Philippine Sea into a high-stakes gray zone playground for its attack submarines and underwater vehicles. China currently operates a fleet of about 59 to 61 active submarines, including nuclear-powered and conventional boats. China's South Sea Fleet alone, which operates in the South China Sea Theater, operates approximately 16 conventional submarines. And submarines are not the only threat Manila should be concerned about. The Philippine Coast Guard and local fishermen have recovered multiple unauthorized Chinese UUVs and submersibles operating illegally within the Philippines EEZ. Forensic examinations indicate that these devices are highly advanced tools built for undersea gray zone warfare preparation and oceanic surveillance. The Abukuma class gives the Navy an instant boost in ASW capability and allows them to detect and deter subsurface threats in deep waters like the Luzon Strait and the West Philippine Sea. Before the Jose Rizal class frigates enter service, the Navy had traditionally relied on lightly armed vessels for patrol duties. While the current modernization effort will eventually phase out these gunboats like the Jacinto and Del Pilar classes, it will take time until all the Navy orders are delivered. The Navy needs more true frontline surface combatants now, preferably with a multi-domain weapon suite. What I mean is, the Navy needs more warships that can respond to threats in the air, at the surface, and under the sea. The Abukuma class is a true frontline surface combatant with this capability. The Phalanx can intercept incoming airborne threats, the Harpoon can engage surface enemy warships, and the Astrok launchers can make the life of the enemy submarine difficult. When they arrive, the Abukuma class will fast-track the Navy's transition from mere gunboat fleet to credible grey hull armada. This capability will soon be beneficial for the Navy's daily operations because the Abukuma class can absorb the grinding, persistent day-to-day maritime security, escort, and patrol duties and frees up the newer, top-tier assets like the Jose Rizal and Miguel Malvar class frigates to be reserved for high-end operational contingencies. I know this is gonna be the Raja Sulaiman's job someday, but it will take some time until all 6 of them are built, fitted, and commissioned. So, in the meantime, the Abukuma class can fill this gap. They will also expand operational flexibility by allowing the Navy to rotate ships through maintenance cycles without significantly reducing frontline maritime coverage, therefore increasing overall fleet readiness and reducing deployment fatigue across critical operational theaters. And probably the most important of all is a strategic alignment. The agreement comes as Japan and the Philippines deepen security operation in response to China's growing maritime activities. The two countries have strengthened defense ties through the reciprocal access agreement, expanded bilateral and multilateral exercises, and broader defense cooperation. When viewed alongside expanded security cooperation involving regional partners, this transfer reinforces a broader strategic trend toward distributed collective security, where interoperable forces generate greater deterrence value through coordinated presence than through isolated national capabilities. And make no mistake, this is just the beginning, with Tokyo gradually shifting toward a more proactive defense equipment transfer policy. There will be more and more retired defense equipment being transferred to the Philippines and other regional partners. One asset I can think of is the Oyashio-class submarine. The Philippine Navy has been dreaming of a submarine fleet for a while current speculation leans toward South Korean design. Japanese boats offer a highly cost-effective, low-risk entry point into subsurface warfare, a pragmatic alternative to the massive capital investment and steep learning curve required by a brand new KSS-3. This blueprint has already been proven in the region. Singapore famously launched its subsurface program using second-hand Swedish boats, leveraging that foundational experience to ultimately build one of the most lethal submarine fleets in Southeast Asia. Ultimately, the transfer of 5 Abukuma class represents more than just rapid expansion of the Philippine Navy. It gives the Navy a high-end anti-submarine warfare capability, a hardened multi-domain combat weapon suite, more flexible fleet optimization, and more importantly, seamless interoperability with the Philippines' closest ally. While the destroyer escort like air defense and embarked helicopter facilities, their design philosophy prioritizes escort protection, coastal defense, and submarine hunting rather than high-end blue water missions typically assigned to much larger warships. For Manila, these limitations are strategically acceptable because the ships will primarily reinforce maritime presence operations, escort duties, and deterrence missions within the Philippines EEZ, where sustained operational availability often delivers greater strategic value. By filling the gaps in the Navy's surface fleet with the Abukuma class, Manila will soon achieve what it needs most: persistent, continuous deterrence rather than episodic presence. What do you think of the Abukuma transfer to the Philippines? Also, what should Tokyo transfer to Manila next? Let me know in the comment section below. Some of you might be wondering, while the Philippines gets the Abukuma class from Japan, why Indonesia is set to receive a larger and more powerful Asagiri class destroyer? To answer that, you can watch my video right here. Thank you for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.